just start.
It's working.
It's live.
It's live. Why is it dark?
Why is it black?
Count is
Okay, cool.
Okay, then the
you made it now.
key, no, the
Okay, for
that
news.
link.
Where you got it?
That link. Okay. No, you know how. I'll get her.
Not to go to place.
I'll get her. Yeah.
Okay, you mean
The
okay, I know. I think of
that embed code.
she's not the guest speaker yet, maybe.
Doesn't know. What do you mean? I'm sending it to.
Okay, you don't need it.
I'm sending it to
Chijuki.
through your mail. Through your mail. But what's their name again?
Anyway.
So said with her name.
Shall we start as the Vice Chancellor's procession proceeds into the auditorium?
You can't go this way. Looked at her like she was crazy. While still standing, we'll take the national anthem. Thereafter, we'll get our anthem.
Chancellor, Professor Deya Imotian Salami, here represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Mrs. Adesua Osao, other principal officers of our university, Provost Deans and Directors, Professors Emerita, other esteemed professors and erudite scholars here present, top government functionaries, your Royal Highnesses, greatest university staff and students, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you to today's inaugural lecture. It is the 243rd in the inaugural lecture series of the University of Benin, to be delivered by Professor Mrs. Mercy Ada Anwuni, a professor of economics, with the topic Wealth and Health of Nations. Statistical pointers to the promised land of economic development or economic doom, which way Nigeria, which way Africa. May I now respectfully invite the Registrar of our University, Mr. Ademola Bobola, to introduce the Vice Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the academic community, it is my singular honor and privilege to present to this august body on this very significant occasion in the life of this university, University of Benin, obviously university. The leader of our academic community, a woman of substance and excellence, a distinguished scholar of no mean repute, the current co-chair, Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities, no other person than our distinguished Vice Chancellor, Professor Lilian Imotian Salami. And of course, we are in the women's world. The women have gradually taken over the space and are giving the men a very hot chase, and even displacing the men in most spheres. And it is no surprise today that our Vice Chancellor, though here with us in spirit because of other commitments of national importance, has put in place somebody to represent her, and you could be sure that representing that kind of big person in our midst is another very mighty person in academic, a distinguished scholar of note, a deputy vice chancellor, and a remarkable woman of substance too, Professor Adesua Osano, who is standing in the. And of course, we have other eminent scholars here, particularly the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Professor David Seko. We have the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Economic Campus and another distinguished scholar too, Professor John Ogene. We have the representative of the BOSA. The BOSA is unavoidably absent today because of other commitments that are going on in the interest of the university. We have here representing the BOSA, Mr. Gabriel Osadolo. And of course, the keeper of publications and scholarly collections, the University Librarian, Dr. Luke Obasui. We have representing the Provost of our College of Medical Sciences, Professor K.O. Ahibe. We have also representing the Dean, School of Postgraduate Studies, Dr. I. Iheseken. we have also on the Vice Chancellor's entourage the host dean from the Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor A.O. Ikelebe. And we have the Dean Faculty of Arts, Professor A.S. Moye. And the Dean School of Basic Medical Sciences, Professor F.O. Agureyo. We have representing the Dean Faculty of Environmental Sciences, Dr. K.J. Eweka. We have also representing the Dean Faculty of Law, Professor Okoji. We have the Dean Faculty of Life Sciences, Professor N.J. Orui. And we have with us the Dean Faculty of Management Sciences, Professor E.L. Dabo. We have with us too, representing the Dean Faculty of Physical Sciences, Professor K.O. Muka. We have also a couple of our directors here today on the Vice Chancellor's entourage. First, among these distinguished scholars in our midst today, the Director, CRPU and ICT, Professor David Ogbefon. We have with us the Director, Center for Part-Time Programs, Professor Mrs. K.A. Ehafuna. We have with us Director of Student Guidance and Counseling, Professor Mrs. V.E. Audu. Yes, we also have the Director Center for Educational Technology, Professor Pete Oahina. And Director of Technical Center of Excellence, Professor O.J. Abolaga. We have also the Acting Director, Institute of Child Health, Dr. D. Waniri. And of course, we have the Acting Director, IBAES, Dr. E.O. Obato. And of course, the man who leads the entourage of the Vice Chancellor, the Deputy Registrar in Senate, Mr. Owe. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is not easy to present a woman who is delivering the inaugural lecture today in a simple way. And so we have the duty and honor bestowed on Acting Vice Chancellor at this occasion, Professor Mrs. Adesua Osaron, who will do justice to the citation of the inaugural lecturer, who are not even able to pronounce her name apart from the simple name of Ada. But I know she goes beyond Ada. I think we should give her another round of applause. My singular honor and privilege to call on the Acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Adesua Osaron, to present the inaugural lecture.
Gentlemen, members of staff and students, Madam Vice Chancellor is unavoidably absent, and she has asked me to represent her. She is absent because of exigencies of duty. She has asked me to read her speech to this very august body. An address by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Livia Imotidan Salabi, on the occasion of the 243rd Inaugural Lecture of the University of Benin. Principal officers of the University of Benin, members of Senate, Provost College of Medical Sciences, deans of faculties and schools, professors and members of council, my lords, spiritual and temporal, staff and students of the University of Benin, gentlemen of the press, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to welcome you all to the 243rd Inaugural Lecture Series of the University of Benin. Today's lecture is the 15th to be delivered in my tenure as the Vice Chancellor of this university and the 16th in the Faculty of Social Sciences. I'm happy to report that the second semester academic activities are ongoing in the various faculties, schools, and institutes. I want to use this opportunity to further solicit for the cooperation of all stakeholders in ensuring that the current academic session is concluded successfully. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce our lecturer for today. She is Professor Mrs. Mercy Ada Aini. The title of our lecture is Wealth and Health of Nations. Statistical pointers to the promised land of economic development or economic tools. Which way Nigeria, which way Africa? Professor Ayiwe was born on the 13th of August 1956 to the family of Mr. Godwin Unjuagwani Ukala and Mrs. Beatrice Waoji Ukala, both of blessed memory. At Injury, he cannot flow from the area of Delta State. She attended the prestigious Baptist Girls High School, PGHS, Abo, and obtained her school certificate in Division 1 in 1972. She obtained her BSc Honours degree in Economics with a second class upper division from the University of Benin in 1981. After her degree, she was employed as a lecturer in Ambrose Ali University in 1983. She had her MSc Economics from the University of Benin in 1986 and PhD in Economics from Ambrose Ali University in 1999. Professor Ayiwe joined the services of the University of Benin in 1993 after a 10-year stint at Ambrose Ali University, Ekoma. She rose through the academic ranks to the position of full professor in 2012. Our research focus is development economics, economic statistics, and health economics. Professor Ayiwe is a visiting professor at Inaugural University and once served as the Dean of the College of Social and Management Sciences, Western Delta University, from 2008 to 2010. Professor Ayiwe has served at various levels and in several capacities within and outside the University of Benin, such as coordinator, advanced diploma in banking and finance, part-time program, University of Benin, from 1996 to 1998, Dean, College of Social and Management Sciences, Western Delta University, 2008 to 2010. Faculty Coordinator, Center for Entrepreneurship, University of Benin, 2005 to 2010. Faculty Rep, Postgraduate School Board of Studies, University of Benin, 2007 to 2010. President, ASU Univen Multi-Purpose Cooperative Society, 2011 to date. Faculty Rep, Faculty of Education Board of Studies,
any background
University of Benin, 2012 to date. Faculty Rep, University Committee on Ebola, 2014.
Select it.
Faculty Rep, Univen Academia, Industry Interface Committee,
When the
2015.
woman gets to this speak, clinical translation.
Professor Ayiwe has served as a member of accreditation panel,
Good.
resource person, assessor, external examiner, moderator to several institutions, and a facilitator and a consultant to to notable international and national firms and corporations. She has successfully supervised many PhDs, masters, and postgraduate diplomas, professional as well as many undergraduate students in the areas of economics, statistics, and economic development. She has published 7 books, both in Nigeria and abroad, which include Statistics Handbook for Social Scientists, Basic Research Methods for Social Scientists, and more than 70 journal articles and proceedings. She is the initiator of the television program Royal Watch, Wealth Creation, as well as director of Center for Human Development and Educational Research. Professor Ayiwe is a member of several professional organizations, such as Nigerian Economic Society, life member and former vice president and current chairman, Edo State Chapter. International Association for Feminist Economics, Network Women in Development Europe, and American Economic Association. True Patriot of Mbiri Kingdom Award, and she was listed in the book ICA First Achievers and Events in 2020. Professor Ayiwe is a member of Science of Spirituality, SOS, a lacto-vegetarian, and a practitioner of scientific meditation on the light and sound of God. She's a music artist with several albums, such as God is Merciful. She is married to Mr. Andrew Jibuno Ayiwe of Blessed Memory. Their union is blessed with children and grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite Professor Mrs. Mercy Ada Ayiwe.
Are you ready? I'm waiting for you. I just need to move. I want that man to be here.
You guys take together.
No, no. Centralize it.
Great University of Benin students. Distinguished guests, members of my family here present, co-colors, and their needs. Gentlemen of the press, ladies, the title of my work, as told, is Wealth and Health of Nations, Statistical Pointers, the encouragement of economic development and economic doom, or economic doom. Which way Nigeria? Can somebody complete the other one? Where are we going to? Somebody, one of my colleagues just said that the country was never too long. And I wanted to add to it. So I have to stop because I wanted to also ask who will lead us to the promised land of of economic development. Who? Really the politicians or the academics? However, he said the title was too long. But what could I have done when the problems of Nigeria and Africa are rather too long? It is important that also have a very long title in order to have it. God Almighty who created me for a purpose. To my beloved divine master, who has shown me how to connect the light and sound of God, where I draw my inspiration and wisdom. Then to my late husband, Mr. Andrew, people of happy way, I'm not happy that it's not here today, but it's okay, whatever is fine. Who died on the 30th of July 1989, far away back many years now. Even though you are not wrong, the love and care planted continue to blossom and sustain me and our children. Thank you for your work. Yes, for allowing me to go to university soon after marriage. Instead of extending our home and education, here your wife is standing in the inaugural lecture of the 2.0. Mr. Godwin Kala and Mrs. Beatrice Kala for their knowledge, education for all children, regardless of gender, which many of us have this ideology. Set aside this ideology, I will not have going to school because the rural community where we come from didn't really support education. So I thank them for having that ideology. So my siblings, the stars in my life, I have enjoyed every bit of our association. Thank to my beloved children, children. I make our people and my graduates. Then to my graduates, grandchildren, who mother nature have used to decorate me. And the youngest, it is with great delight that I welcome everyone here for this inaugural lecture on this great university. This is simply a rare privilege for which I will remain grateful to God Almighty for as long as I live. I am also grateful to Madam Vice Chancellor for giving me this opening to address the academic community of this great university. This date was, however, approved for me by Professor Edward USA and his team, so I thank them very much for doing that. This particular lecture is the sixth online from my department and the second one of biochemistry, and following none other than Professor C.C. Okoye. I consider this opportunity as a real privilege because at the age of 9 years, just before I could think of going into university, into secondary school, my bride price was paid by a freshman who received or informed the community that he was an engineer. If I had gotten married at that age, believe you me, this address wouldn't be going to a community like this. You would have been to Gary Sellers. So I sincerely thank God for giving me this privilege. But he gave me 2 companions that made me to be able to do this. And these companions was one, a book, which is called The Secret, The Drummer Boy by Secret Agency, and then the transistor radio. These were the 2 things that helped me. I had to lock myself up in the room until I listened to the radio, I was reading, and I found that I could not understand anything in the drummer boy book. Everyone had a problem with the English word, which I couldn't go through. So I had to decide that this primary six certificate is not enough. So I had to go to school. I listened to radio most of the time. I had that radio because I noticed that so many information coming up, I did not really understand or fathom them. So I thought, really, one had to go to school. This is how I moved into secondary school, and now I'm proudly the first professor of our kingdom. And I want I was given to me by His Royal Highness, the Obi of me, Obi Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwu Alekwe II. And I have them there representing me. Okay. Now, the region of Africa has remained underdeveloped. It has remained underdeveloped for so many reasons. And I don't know how we are going to solve this problem. Well, because our most struggle, most concern, most policies around the world are how to make progress with available resources, either they own it or they own it. Such progress should bring about better standard of living, better health, better technology, less poverty, more gainful employment, better equality, and better sustenance of resources. All these parameters can be summed up in two things, just two things: the wealth and health of what? Nations. These concerns affect both individuals, households, and nations as well. It is believed that every society will put in their best in order to achieve the wealth and health of their nation. The progress may come either economically, socially, or politically. Records around the world unfortunately show that all societies do not have equal resources. All societies do not have equal progress, even if they started off on the same point or they have the same equal resources. Percentage share of the world population can show that, as well as the land mass, as well as the resources that are available. For instance, Africa has 9.59% of the population, Asia 59.54%, Europe 17.1919, Latin America and the Caribbean 4.75, Australia 0.54, and then America, North America, USA, will have the 8.38%. Now, it is to be noted that the share of the nation's natural resources, or even the nation's wealth and health, are not distributed according to the share of the world's population or the world land. So, whether the population is higher than that of another region, it doesn't matter. The resources were divided or shared by God and in His own way. It didn't make them equal. Now, in 2018, the World Bank showed, however, that the nation advances towards promised plan of economic development. The components of its wealth, national wealth, we have to change. And then you have this national wealth becomes in different proportions. And you will not believe it. While the 70% of the wealth of advanced high-income countries is made up of human capital, 70% human capital. In advanced countries, in less developed income countries, they have human capital only 41%. Then that tells us something. It starts to say that look, the human capital is what makes these things work, not necessarily natural resources. And then it showed that the natural capital was only 3% in this very region, whereas this same natural capital was up to 47% in the struggling world, like that one called Africa and all that. The statistical contrast here indicates that even though nature did not distribute resources equally, the human capital of a nation can dictate the level of economic progress. And since health is a major component of the human capital, it can also be said that the health of the citizens of the nation can dictate the way the economic progress will go. And let me make it sure here, for instance, some place like Israel, they have all it takes to be a developed country. They don't have even land. They don't have resources. The same thing in Dubai, where many people run to. It's not, that cannot boast of so much resources. So, but it is the human capital that matters. Now, the questions we are addressing today are the available African statistical data points to economic development, or data points to economic use. As the African region moved that fast, it started from one point, one reference point. Did we move with other nations along with other nations? And the direction of the progress of statistical pointers the change for the better for Africa. Now, before we go ahead, I want us to have a review of the concept we will be looking at today. Some of them will come across. The first is economics, then the second is growth, the third economic development, and then wealth and health, which we are working at. Now, economics. Economics is a study of the human relationship as affect production, consumption, exchange rate, distribution of wealth, and other activities of mankind that we have to give possibilities of satisfaction, utility, welfare, and profit. This definition was given by none other than Annie and in 2006. And never goes of the single answer. No, it cannot be 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, because it has to do with the human race. Now, once upon a time, a shoemaker told me, oh, I love you so much, I would like to give my daughter to you for change. And then he said, the mistake he made was now asking, which discipline are you? And I said, I'm an economist. Oh my God, that clause has no answer to any question. No single answer to any question. The reason being that we always say, in the one hand, this one will happen. In the other hand, the other one will happen. So one of my colleagues here today also tells me that if immediately economists can start having 2 hands, then we will become part of economics. But do we ever have that? We always say the parties, leave everything being a what? Equal. And it's going to be equal. Everything equal at what I know. But I see this as a strength for economics. Because economists know that you're dealing with humans. So you can say basket full of answers, not single, not single, no way, not single answer. But basket full of possible solutions. And I think this is very important. Now, economic development that we're talking about today is the process by which we have quantitative increases in the good parameters. Qualitative increase in the good parameters. And then distributional equity. So if we are having growth, increases, and we are not sharing the evidence, so that is not what at all. Then health. What is health? Some people think that this is a state where people they are devoid of any disease. No, not that. Listen to how World Health Organization has health, and this is what we have announced. The foremost said a state health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not just devoid of what disease. No. So it is a state of complete physical, mental, and social. Those are the and of course, we can define, talk about what is for that well, and on well is cross access, less liability. That's what well. But however, well is made up of what like our started to mention, the natural capital, the human capital, and then the body assets. Now, in my country, I talk about the premise of development. We are there. What do we mean by that? Now, this is the state where things can make the people there where they are. It will make them healthier. They will have better education. They will have better access to modern and quality health. This is what we mean by something like development. And then here you have good government. One of them is where you have modern infrastructure, modern technology, access to internet. I don't know how many of us actually have access to internet. Less corruption. These are the things that make us learn. We are looking out for promises. How many of us want to do that? I want to do that. How many of us want to be there? I would like to be there. I don't want to be in the promised land of economic boom. Economic boom, look at what we have. The land of people have become poor. They are sick. They are illiterate. They do not have access to modern and quality housing. They are in then modern. No infrastructure. Bad government. Poor housing. Poor healthcare. These are high corruption. This is what they do. And then you can see this too. I know Africa is known for a lot of population, Israel population, new population. Look at them. These are the people that really something that we want to do. And then you look at this other graph, which shows the government. You look at the road what is happening? What is happening? Because you can see that most of the nations started attacked. But by 2018, many other nations are taking Africa. Look at this one. Today we have to 2019. You will see that Africa, of course, yes, what we have is not good. The plants are so small that they are like horizontal. So horizontal with the horizontal. So these are the processes. Then you have the inequality, adopted human human index, human development index that is used to gauge whether a particular group are really developing or not. And then the higher, the better. But look at it. The one for sub-Saharan Africa is the lowest. You can see the graph. That is the lowest. The one to the far right. Then that means that Africa is not doing well in that state. Then you go to the next graph, you will see this one is measuring inequality, human inequality, and you can see that human inequality in sub-Saharan Africa, where Nigeria belongs, is the largest. So we normally answer our father's name where the things are worse. When things are good, you don't see us there. Now look at this map. This one has to do with health. Now if you look at this particular map, you can see that red area, that red region. This one is where anything that is marked red is telling you that the disease burden is very high there. And it's Africa that has the highest disease burden. I hope it's clear. You can see it. You can see it for yourself. So now look at Africa and see the problems that we have. We talk about poverty, illiteracy, corruption, preference of foreign products and ethics, high imports, low exports, no bad government, and then to add to it in the recent times now is insurgency, health problem, banditry, kidnapping, insecurity. Now, why is this like this? Why? Why is this like this? Now, I said the political economy of Africa and Nigeria, it's a simple mathematics. Everybody can do it. And if you know how to say no to any good thing, then you are doing it well. If you know how to say yes for that, then you are doing it well. Let's go. He said, is there good governance? Is there good governance? No. Is there high productivity? No. Is there quality health care? No. Is there light? No. This is where we start, and this is the problem we have. The world and health of nations. Which way Africa, which way Nigeria? Madam Vice Chancellor, you can also answer the other question. And then you go with me. These are the bad steps. Is there bad governance? Yes. Yes. Is there low productivity? Yes. Is there high poverty? Yes. Is there high corruption? Yes. This is the problem we have. Now, I also narrowed it to Nigeria. Of course, they say my father like what? So, compare all them. And then you see that things are not moving well. Then what is happening? Is there Dutch disease? When people say the economy is Dutch disease, that means they had everything they wanted, but yet they are suffering. And that thing is putting them into trouble. Like we have oil, petroleum, and yet petroleum is putting us in trouble. Rather than us developing, we are going into more trouble. Now, that is what Dutch disease is. I know that many Africans say, yes, let us take it that it's Dutch disease. Because why? The African would like things that are foreign. They would like things that are foreign, not the ones that is local to them. So, but I say no, I will not agree on this time. It is not Dutch disease. It is what? African disease. It is African disease. It is not Dutch disease. So for economists, my colleagues that are here, when you write, please don't use Dutch. Use African disease because that is wrong. Now, why do we have this Africa? Look at what's happening. We have slavery, we have colonization, and then these things were based in some ideology. Look at that ideology. He said, I have traveled across the length and breadth of Africa, and I have not seen a person who is a beggar. Can you imagine? He has not seen a beggar, and he has not seen someone who is a thief. He has not seen anyone. Such wealth, such moral value. This was describing Africa in 1835 by Macaulay in Britain. And he told them, look, since this country is like this, or this region is like this, what we do is to give them foreign education. Tell them that their own education is not good. Tell them that their culture is not good. Tell them that whatever they do is not good. Have you ever got marijuana anywhere? Now, this marijuana is grown right here in our places. But they tell us not to touch it. It is an abomination to touch it. The same thing, Jim. But what do? They take these things and go to abroad and then refine them. Today, the best-selling drugs are based on what? Marijuana. That's what they told us. And then we followed them. We started like, foreign things. We don't like our own anymore. Then there is an ideology of African, the economic order. The economic order. And listen to what an economist had to say. He said, Africa is fundamental to global prosperity as a raw material producer. Tell me which country is advanced that has not used the labor of Africans? Tell me. You have it? No. They based all their wealth was based on our struggle. And I can tell you, he was afraid. He said, we will not allow Africa to escape. We will not allow Africa to escape without a big fight. And this is the ideology that is ruling the world today. All the global economic structure, all those you hear about financial institutions, today they will say they are giving us loan. My brother, look twice before you take the loan. Because what all that they are doing is to make sure that we remain where we are. Now, the economists that we even teach in schools, they all tell us, Africa, Japan now, it is because of you are not doing well. This is your fault. It is not our fault. This is the ideology. And this is what has made us to stay where we are. This is what developed the African disease. Now, Africa arise and conquer African disease and international conspiracy. In my humble opinion, I think this generation, people that are here today of Africans, can change the narrative. And let me be the first to start. Madam Vice Chancellor, permit me to now change my name. Because I was given Adoyibo, because whatever is good is the Oyibo one. If it is pineapple, we call it Adoyibo because it is best, isn't it? And I now denounce. My siblings that are here, please permit me. I now denounce that name. Rather, please call me Ada Africa. The work I could in my 37 years as a lecturer starting from the graduate assistant. And I can tell you within this period, I have gained a number of names, and let me tell you some. And then you will decide whether I've done well or not. One, they called me, students called me figure 8. And then the next word could be what? Superior. Superior. Which means this lecturer is superior to what? All others. And now, what do they call me? I am now Mama A. Mama Authentic. Within this period, I'm actually putting my best. And I have done what I think I have supervised so many people. I cannot count the number of projects I have supervised at undergraduate level. But permit me to also tell you that I have also supervised so many people at the LSC level that the number is almost uncountable. But in terms of students, I have supervised over 10 PhDs between just 2017 and 2017. Two PhD supervisors having their defense successfully. One day in the University of New, and then in Ibadan University where I do visiting, I have also successfully had 3 PhD supervisees successful in 1 day. You can't do that. So that is how I have been. Then I have contributed to definitions of concepts because in economics it is definition and redefinition every time. And I can tell you I have defined economics. I even started with one of these definitions, and then in 2003 I have defined economic development of a nation. And in one of the things I have used in defining economic development like this, I said, what has happened to the questions you must ask before you judge whether there is economic development or not are these. What has happened to poverty, the wealth creation or health creation? What has been happening to unemployment? What has been happening to human capital? And what has been happening to modernization and technology? What has been happening in inequality? If these ones are growing, they are not doing better, then you cannot call that development. So this was my definition. And then I have also had the privilege of defining statistics. And I have defined statistics as a scientific or systematic condensation, analysis, and interpretation of information or data. This was my definition in 2006 for statistics, and I think I have done quite well in such areas. And I contributed include my contribution to knowledge and policy. And I have selected few. For instance, the very first one I selected is anyway in 1997. And in this research, the stages model of economic models was used to find out, to analyze whether Nigeria is doing well or not. And we found that Nigeria is not really doing well. And also, many African countries are also in the same problem. We have not prepared to take off at all. So the statistical pointers I have here are high level of human capital, natural capital, are not synonymous to the high level of economic development. This we should know. Now, recommendations from our Vice Chancellor, I have decided to recommend only 2 things, although they are omnibus, because we have been having a lot of recommendations which have not been developed. And one that I recommend is that Africa, any university on African land should, as a matter of urgency, institute and operate a town and gown interface. And this, I know UNIMED has started, and then other universities should follow. And another thing is that we should have the proper orientation of our people, so that we should have an agency in the universities to control this. And I'm thinking that African Union should help in organizing that. Acknowledgement. All things are manifested as His will, of His will, and by His will is greatness achieved. And today I have achieved this greatness by giving this lecture. God, in His infinite mercies, also gave me the good parents that made me be able to go to school. I thank them. And I thank all the past vice chancellors, particularly Professor Nobraye, who actually employed me in this university. And then Professor Oshodi, who announced my professorship. I thank them very well, and I also thank Professor Boruesi, because he approved this particular lecture for me today. Now, I also especially thank the Vice Chancellor, current Vice Chancellor, Professor Eli Salami, for doing all she did in order to help me come on today as my lecture. I thank her very much. I want to thank every principal officer of this university who had made this lecture possible. And my special thanks will go to my neighbors who provided conducive neighborhood for my advancement in life. And I want to remember those in block of flats. And now where I am presently, Professor Okieme, Professor Mr. Okieme, let me put you that way, and then Professor Mrs. Okieme, and Professor Oge Okoji, and the Katua. All these ones are in my neighbors, and they have helped me so much. I also wish to appreciate my spiritual members who are here today. And then I cannot but remember my spiritual master, Sandra Judas. My deep appreciation goes to all my siblings, and they are all here present, the professors, all the doctors that are in my family. I welcome you and I thank you for coming. So these are acknowledgement. There are so many names that I cannot read all of them now. And I can tell you, if you have contributed to my progress, please take it that I have mentioned your name. Or if you look at the book, your name will be there. Then my special appreciation to my children, Architect Chidoke, Mr. Anyway, and Dr. Chiku, Amoko, and Barrister Mose Zeruko. Now, concluding remarks. Madam Vice Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, God will not change people's conditions until they change their value system. And that is why I have said that we must look at the issue of having reorientation and then rebranding of Africa. The resources of Africa have always been a source of attraction. Many people will continue to come to Africa to scramble for Africa. But should we continue to allow that? No, we should not. That is why I'm saying that the African disease will have to be cured by African concussion, not with Chinese supplements. Did you hear me? With Chinese supplements. During this COVID, what happened? Did you see their supplements? Did you hear? Okay. So it shouldn't be Chinese supplements. It should be African concussion. And then American tablets also cannot help us. It has to be African. Africans do it yourself. Africa arrives. In midst of plenty, arrive. In my opinion, Madam Right Chancellor, I think this generation of Africans can change the narrative. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the inaugural lecturer. It was indeed an engaging and patriotic lecture. May I now invite the Vice Chancellor to give a recap of the lecture.
A great job with that lecture. It was a proper town and gown lecture. And we all have one thing or the other to take home. I want to address her from now on as Professor Mrs. Ada Afri. We have to look inwards and patronize our own products and not look for the Oyinbo version. So I want to attempt to summarize our lecture. The region of Africa has remained underdeveloped over the years. And the shocking news is that other regions that were at par, say in 1960, have greatly overtaken Africa in terms of economic growth and development parameters. For instance, regions like Asia and India were not better economically than Africa in 1960. When most African nations secured their independence. Thus, one is amazed to learn that Africa has lagged so much behind these other regions. Poverty, low investment, low productivity, low output, low technology, high unemployment rate, low human development index, illiteracy, poor healthcare, poor infrastructure, corruption, political instability, insecurity, and bad governance have become commonplace in most African nations. These factors definitely are not indicators of economic progress, economic growth, or economic development. It is suggested that all universities located on the African soil should, as a matter of urgency, institute and operate a town and gown interface unit with special regards to governance and industry. The University of Benin is already blazing the trail. The African Union can coordinate and set agenda for all these units for the betterment of Africa. With meaningful and purposeful efforts in this act, all viable and feasible recommendations will be harnessed for the whole of Africa, and there will be a viable synergy among African nations and people. The African Union should make it mandatory for all our member nations to institute people orientation agencies for the proper orientation and rebranding of all African peoples, to revert back to the true but excellent African nature, ethics and morals, to learn to use African natural resources to produce wealth and health, and then participate in the promised land of development. My prayer is that the Almighty God will take every one of us to the promised land of economic development and not economic doom, in Jesus' mighty name. Thank you very much.
The inaugural lecturer will join the Vice Chancellor on stage for the declaration. Please, the immediate family of the inaugural lecturer should join the inaugural lecturer on stage, please. The immediate family, please. While that is ongoing, let me quickly recognize the presence of the following persons. Professor Mike Obada, Thomas Martin Story, Thomas KMPCH, Professor Emeritus T.O.K. Audu, thank you, sir. Thank you for your ever presence. Professor Honorable More Wonder, former Dean Faculty of Education, Professor Samson Edo, former Dean Faculty of Social Sciences, Professor Mrs. Josephine Mokoy of the Department of Theatre Arts, Professor P.E. Inobia, thank you, sir, for coming. Professor M.O. Kadiri, Professor Gideon Emeloy, thank you, professors, for coming. Also in attendance, we have the representative of the Royal Majesty, the Obi of Imbiri Kingdom of Delta State, Chief Martin Sobini, Prince Moses Alekwe, Dr. Oman Choko, Prince Ete Alekwe, Evangelist Ngozi Bama, Kingsley Bama, Amaka Bama, Honorable Victor Iwekuba, and Dr. Mrs. Omerede of the Department of Public Administration. Thank you all for gracing this occasion with your presence. We have come to the end of the 243rd inaugural lecture series of the University of Benin. Thank you, Professor Omoyibo of the Department of Sociology and Ecology, for coming. Thank you very much, sir. Please let us rise for the Univers anthem. Thereafter, we will take the second stanza of the national anthem. we remain standing as the Vice Chancellor's possession of this auditorium. Also, special recognition to our friends from Admiralty University Dental